What the hell is going on, people? This is Periodic, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle. We're jumping back into the 350 million global downloads reached celebration. We're in part 3, but the part doesn't really matter. What matters is we're still in September, and that means that we got to release the second part. Yes, indeed, the better part, some would say, of our monthly LR tier list. This is global summonable LRs for the month of September, part 2, the best 25.
Hear my thought. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my home.
So first off, I say 25. It's actually like 24, but 25 sounds better, right? I'm pretty sure my part 1, which was the bottom 25, was actually like 26, because I think there's like 50 summonable LRs right now, or 50, 51, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 24. Maybe I just did math wrong. I don't really know. Who cares? But what is important is let's go over some ground rules, okay? I went over it in part 1, but in case you didn't watch that, let's go into part 2. These are the top LRs in the game. As you can see, only 4 tiers because there was 4 tiers in the other video, so 8 tiers overall. I will re-emphasize, this is global only, so you will not see Japan cards. As you can see, Japan only. Let's go ahead and fill that right now. We have Super Janemba. We have Goku Vegeta, which is the Gogeta, and we have the Piccolo Goku, Japan only. This is also summonable LRs, so you're not going to see LR in Piccolo or LR Strength Vegeta Blue or, you know, the LR Bulma and Goku, for example. This is summonable only. Last but not least, do you see how I have Janemba in first, Goku Vegeta second, and Goku Piccolo third? This does not mean that I think Janemba is better than this unit, because in fact I would have it like this probably. Yeah, I'd probably do this. But it doesn't really matter. How I put characters on a tier list does not mean number 1, number 2, number 3. It just means that I think they're of the same level. So whether I think that these 2 units, not saying I do, but let's just say if I think this guy's offensive capabilities and his pretty solid defense is on par with Janemba's super defensive abilities and pretty good offense, and I think that they should be considered in the same power level, doesn't mean that I think this guy's first or this guy's first, okay? I just think that they're on par with each other. So, with the rules out of the way, let's go ahead and start in the Supreme Kai tier. And it's a unit that in the past was considered the best LR in the game for quite a while. Kale and Caulifla. 2 makes the strongest of all universe. Here's a few reasons why. Stacking defense on the 12 and 18 key. All right. That's pretty good, right? You have some units that do that. That's pretty solid. But 66% attack and defense. Launches an additional attack. Guaranteed an additional attack, okay? Gives herself 1 key. Caps to 6. And 6% dodge. Caps at 66 every time she attacks. So what does that mean? That means that she's going to attack at least 2 times per turn. If you put more, you know, hidden potential, skill orbs, and things like that, for additionals, you'll have a better chance. But she's going to do minimum 2 attacks per turn. That means that she's going to get minimum 2 key, so it's going to take her 3 turns. And it's going to take her, 12%? That's 3, what is the 66 divided by 12? That's about 5.5 turns, which is not that bad. Again, that's saying that we do not, do an additional besides what's in the passive skill. So that's not bad. 5.5 turns at max to gain 66% dodge. That is pretty wild, and obviously that can happen in 3 turns instead. And then on top of that, you gain 10% for every Universe 6 unit on the team, Joint Forces, or Pure Saiyans unit on the team. Keep in mind, if they are all 3, Universe 6, Joint Forces, pure Saiyan, like the TUR of this Kale and Caulifla, you'll actually get 30% from that character. And it's on the team, not on the rotation. And then last but not least, if you're facing Universal Saga or Pure Saiyans, you guaranteed launch an additional super attack. That's on top of the normal super attack that you're doing. So it's absolutely incredible and crazy because it allows you to stack up your defense so quickly. It allows you to stack up your ki so quickly, so you're going to be launching those 18 keys. And it allows you to stack that dodge so quickly. As we know, 70% dodge from Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is spectacular. 66% dodge is pretty damn good too. The only problem with this Kale and Caulifla is her attack never gets particularly high. Yes, you can do multiple attacks, and that's going to do decent damage, but it's never. She's not going to be the main damage dealer on the team unless if you really stack, you know, the team with Universe 6 Joint Forces Pure Saiyans type characters, which can be difficult to say the least, but absolutely spectacular. Definitely deserves to be considered one of the top LRs in the game. Well, let's keep going because we have a lot more to go through. Next up on the same level, LR Intelligent Cell, which I feel like some people have been bashing this guy, and I don't understand it. I really don't. Saying that he's definitely showed his age. What age? Are people dumb nowadays? 12 key, greatly lowering defense. 18 key, greatly raising attack. So offense is going to be solid. With any cell, by the way, there's like 15 cells you can run alongside of this guy. 80% attack and defense, raises defense by up to 80% the more HP remaining. So he's the opposite of the Int Bojack, who gains defense when your HP gets lowered. He just starts off with a ridiculous amount of defense. If you have a bunch of enemies, 1 key, 20% attack. So per enemy, right? That's not bad at all. And then Link's set is God tier with all the other cells in the game. And guys, you already know he's one of the most iconic villains in the series. He's going to be getting more versions of Cell, and so it's going to be more characters that you can link with because this is perfect form Cell. So we're going to eventually get a Dokkan Fest first form Cell, a Dokkan Fest second form Cell, and a Dokkan Fest normal Cell. So this is perfect form Cell, so we are in the money, right? And then you have, of course, his transformation into perfect Cell. So this is not a hard requirement. And what I mean by that is you don't have to have X, Y, and Z character. You don't have to get hit 15 times. You don't have to dodge a certain amount of times. This is literally just you drop below 30% HP. I don't know about you guys, but on difficult content, this happens quite often. This happens quite often. I'll put it like this. I've probably seen this happen maybe a dozen times on my account. Maybe more. Probably more. With the amount of content I do that I bring this man along. Goku's transformation, the UI revival joint, or not even. Let's not even talk about UI because he's only been out for a few months. Agl Gohan. I've seen his transformation one time. So this guy's right here, this evolve at 30% HP or less is a lifesaver. It literally can save a run. And then when he turns into this man, he does a ridiculous amount of damage. His defense is solid. Everything is just really good with this particular form, right? So that's the main difference with this cell. This is little like this here, this evolve when HP is 30% or less is better, in my opinion, than the new Vegeta's exchange skill. Because the new Vegeta's exchange skill, you have to go into the turn at 30% HP, and then you have to die, right? Now, what can happen is, let's just say if Vegeta's turn 1, he loses all his defense, you want him to die, but you end up killing the enemy by accident, right? Because he gets pretty good ki, and so you end up killing the enemy, and now you're going into the next turn. The revive is not going to work because he's not on that turn, and now you're in trouble. This dude, you drop below 30% HP, he comes around, boom, automatic transformation into perfect cell. He's now a nuking type unit, which is spectacular. He's lowering attack on the 18 key, massively lowering defense on the 12, and the turn that he comes out after that, if the fight has still gone long enough, he can pop his active skill and just absolutely obliterate. So this dude is still a top tier LR. People are smoking some good stuff if they don't think so. Let's keep it pushing. The Go Bros are next. Miracle, Calling, Clash. Very similar to the Kale and Caulifla, where they need to build themselves up, but they have the capability to do so. Now, they have some glaring weaknesses, but the thing I love about the Kale and Caulifla and this card specifically is they have things in their kit to fix it. So, 12 key, greatly raises attack. 18 key, greatly raises attack. Passive, 58% attack and defense. It's not that good. It's not that good. But what do? Well, they give themselves 1 key that caps at 5 and 10% attack and defense that caps at 100% every time they attack. And guess what they do? Well, they launch an additional attack every turn. So they're doing at least 2 attacks every turn. So they're giving themselves at least 2 key and 20% attack every turn. So they're gonna cap out very, very quickly. And oh, by the way that 100% adds is it's actually calculated separately. So it ends up being 216 attack and defense, 216% attack and defense, which is very, very good because their defense then is very solid and their offense is absolutely incredible. Like, their offense is one of the best in the game because of the sheer amount of multiple damage, maneuvers that they put off. Their super attacks, just 7 million attacks that super attack, 8 million attacks that super attack, 9 million attacks that super attack, 3 of those in one turn. It's insane. And then the active skill that they have is not hard to do. You wait 3 turns. The enemy is only 1, right? And your HP is below 59%. Massively raise your own attack, do ultimate damage, you kill the bastard. That's what ends up happening. You kill the son of a gun. So this dude is still top tier. Link set is decent. It's got some wonky ones like Blazing Battle and All in the Family and stuff like that. But I mean, Golden Warrior, Kamehameha, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, Super Saiyan, always solid ones to say the least. Let's keep going. Let's keep it a pushing with Spirit Bomb Goku, an OG, man. 2019 is when this guy came out, so we're talking about almost 3 years at this point. We're going to be going on. Is it almost 3 years? No, 2 years. 2020, and then we're about to hit 2019. Almost 2 years. I honestly can't do mathematics. 18 key, Mega Colossal, lowers attack and defense and seals. Very, very utility-based unit here, because with the seal, that means you can bring him into Super Battle Road. And on top of that, okay, if this guy gets additionals, which I do suggest putting additionals into him, you can obviously put some crit for sure, but additionals are great because you do that 18 key super attack, you seal the super attack, you follow it up with a 12 key super attack, greatly raise your defense. Boom, you're good to go. Now he starts with 59% attack and defense, and some people are like, oh, that's too low. That's too low. Well, he gains 7% attack and defense for every orb he gets. 7% attack and defense for every orb he gets, which is absolutely incredible. If there are Super Saiyans in that rotation, he gains an additional 7% attack on top of that. So he can theoretically do 21% attack for every orb he gains, 7% defense, and that'll add to that 59% defense, and then that'll get multiplied by the greatly raising defense, which is great. And oh, by the way, he gains extra key on rainbow orbs, 3 key for every rainbow orb. And you're like, okay, that's cute, that's neat. You know, that kind of reminds me of Janemba, where he, when he grabs those rainbow orbs, he gets better. But we all know how rarely that happens. Well, this guy changes orbs to rainbow orbs. He's his own orb changer. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty good. Links are obviously fantastic, as most Super Saiyans are. Experienced fighter, it's a little whatever. But Saiyan Warrior race is becoming more and more prevalent as the game meta changes. Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. So this guy is spectacular on both long events and short events. He's kind of good everywhere. The only thing that you want to really avoid is getting hit before he's able to super attack, because if that does happen, he's only sitting at 59% defense, and that's just not enough on the most difficult content in the game, right? By gaining all of those orbs, by greatly raising his defense, then he's going up to the 200,000s plus defensive bonuses, right? He's probably touching 300,000 at that point. So dude's still an absolute beast. Let's move along, shall we? And we're going to put the Blue Boys here. Now, we kind of wrestled for a little bit on whether we should add the Blue Boys in this tier or the next, but I think I am going to leave them here. And it's only because of certain things. Now, let's go over what they do. First off, I love their super attacks, both of them. 12 key, greatly lowers attack and defense, lowers attack. Enemy's attack, I should say. 18 key, does the same thing, but lowers attack and defense. starts off with 70% attack and defense. Again, very similar to the Super Saiyan Goku. You don't want them to get hit first. If they get hit first, they can be in trouble. Just like the AGL Super Saiyan Goku, they gain more, stats for the orbs that they get. 7% attack and defense for every orb, which is spectacular. They also give themselves 7% crit and 2 ki, which is awesome, for every rainbow orb they get. And lastly, for every rainbow orb they get, they will launch an additional normal attack. Caps at 3, which is pretty crazy. Like, that does a lot. Unfortunately, they are not a rainbow orb changer. So it is going to be, not few and far between, but you're going to have to be hunting those rainbow orbs or have a rainbow orb changer alongside of these two units, which is not hard to do. Active skill, you have to drop below 50% HP, give yourself 24 ki, give yourself 70% attack, but unfortunately you lose 50% defense. So those are the two drawbacks that make me not put them higher on the list. Number one, they start with that 70% defense, and so they can get killed if they get hit beforehand. And number two, if you don't finish off the enemy with your active skill, you can get killed because you're lowering your defense to such a dangerous level, right? But Link set is just unbelievable for the Realm of God, that Tournament of Power, Dragon Ball Super type characters, Super Saiyan, Godly Power, Warrior Gods, Kamehameha, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. Absolutely love it. So those dudes are still spectacular. Next up, one of my favorite OSTs in the game. Woo! Baby, baby, baby. You have Angel Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, a promise made to Kakarot. Absolutely love this card. And I'll get the negative out of the way first. Works the same exact way as the Super Saiyan Angel Goku, or AGL Goku, I should say, and the Blue Boys, the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and the Super Saiyan Evolved Blue Vegeta. If he gets hit before he's able to super attack, he can be in big trouble because just like them, he's only starting off with 70% attack and defense. Now, with that said, 12 ki raises defense, 18 ki greatly lowers the enemy's defense, and then he's got a cool little unit super attack, which greatly raises attack and massively lowers defense. You can do that on the 18 ki if there's a Goku from the Majin Buu Saga category. Now, luckily, on the Majin Buu Saga category, there's a bunch of Gokus. You have this Goku here on the Strength Vegito. If we scroll down here, you have this EZA Spirit Bomb Goku. You have LR Goku and Vegeta here. If we scroll down a little bit here, you have this AGL Goku who's an orb changer, an AGL orb changer there. That will work. You have this Super Saiyan 2 Goku who actually supports Super Saiyan 2s. Guess what? This Vegeta is a Super Saiyan 2, so that would actually count as support. You have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who's an EZA. I mean, if the event is short, I guess you can put him on the team and kind of run with it. The Super Saiyan 2s, again, from the tech, the tech, Super Tech here, which works the same way as the AGL one. Same thing with the, Physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku? Yeah, Physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku. They're all Super Saiyan 2 supports, which is definitely fine and definitely usable. If we go into the strength, I don't really think there's anybody that's viable that you can bring. I'm not really a huge fan of this Battlefield Memory Goku here. This All in the Family one sucks, and then this EZA one sucks as well. For intelligence, yep, Transformation Goku will work fine, not a problem there. Of course, the LR that I mentioned, you have a free-to-play, but probably not the best choice. And then in tech, keep in mind that this man here, this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, is going to be getting his Extreme Z Awakening very soon, and he's going to be very, very solid. So can't wait for that. So there's actually a decent amount of choices you can bring along, and he's going to be able to activate that unit super attack. Now, with that out of the way, 70% attack and defense, an additional 4% attack and defense every time his ki rises. So he's like in the old video that I made, LR Int Rose Goku Black, where every time he grabs, every time his ki meter goes up by 1, he gains an additional attack and defense 4%. Now that caps at 70. He also gives himself 3 ki when he's got a Goku attacking in the same turn, or if he's facing a Goku. And then last but not least, if he has a Majin Buu Saga Goku attacking in the same turn, he gives himself 3 ki. So that's everything for his passive. Now, his active skill is the same exact thing as that, condition in the passive. Majin Buu Saga, Goku, ally, attacking in the same turn. Wait 3 turns, gives himself 1 ki, 59% attack, 78% defense. Very, very good. But like I said, because he's similar to this guy and this guy, then the defense can be shaky if he gets hit before he's able to hit. Let's keep moving, baby boy and baby girls. Let's jump up. LR Intelligence 17. Android 17, Team Universe 7 to be exact. Let's go over what he does. So 12 ki, greatly raises attack, raises allies' defense by 30%. That's pretty solid. That's pretty good. Not many people do that. 18 ki, raises allies' defense by 30%, and he gives people a 7% crit. A 7% crit hit chance. That is unique. I love that. Passive skills, 70% attack and defense. So, let's go over the drawback real fast, okay? I'm just going to get it out of the way right away. You cannot use this man. You can, but it is not optimal. It's not efficient. It's downright piss poor if you use this guy on any other team besides Representative Universe 7. Because if he is on a team besides Representative of Universe 7, he is only 70% attack and defense. That's it. 70% attack and defense. That's just not good, okay? It says his damage is going to be garbage and his defense is going to suck. But if he's on a Representative Universe team, he gives himself an additional 70% attack and defense. Is that calculated separately? Oh my goodness, it is. So, is that the additional 70? Oh my God, Jesus. Yeah. Oh man. So that's just unbelievable. Okay. So, he gives himself 70% attack when ki is 22 or more. And he gives himself 3 ki when grabbing rainbow orbs. And for every rainbow orb he grabs, he increases his chance to crit by 7%. So if he's doing 18 keys, he's actually at 14% with just 1 rainbow orb. Now keep in mind, what it says down here, that 70% attack bonus is calculated separately. So he gives himself actually 189% attack when ki is 22 or more. But more importantly, if he's on that Representative Universe 7 team, 308% attack. Oh, baby. So that's a hell of a lot of attack, right? And then, of course, he's got his active skill, greatly raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, but most importantly, all allies on that turn, 7 ki. Jeez Louise. The activation skill is you have to be facing one enemy. That enemy's HP has to be 50% or less, and you have to be on that Representative Universe team, with obviously 2 of them attacking in the same turn, but that's going to be the case if you're on a Representative Universe 7 team. So it is pivotal that he's on that Universe 7 team. If not, he's super mid, super mid. He would have been on the bottom LRs, but because this guy is so damn good on his own team, that lifts him up and puts him on the Supreme Kai tier. Let's finish it up. One last unit on the Supreme Kai tier, and he's a brand new old unit, LR Physical Bardock with the Extreme Z Awakening. Now this guy's very interesting, okay? Super attack, 12 ki, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. That's a 50% increase, right? Greatly lowers defense, that's great. 18 ki, raises defense only by 30%, mega colossal damage, but seals super attack. So again, great utility, particularly in Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road. Now he's a bit better in terms of defense, 100% attack and defense. Here's where it gets tricky. He gains 20% attack at the start of each turn. That caps at 59%. So it'll take 3 turns. He also gives himself an additional 40% attack when performing a super attack, an ultra super attack, an 18 ki super attack. If he's facing only 1 enemy, he gives himself 6 ki. If he's facing 2 enemies, he gives himself 4 ki, but He loses 2 ki, but that's not a big deal because he gains an additional 70% defense or defense, which is incredible. And last but not least, if he's facing Frieza, then guaranteed crits. The first time he sees that Frieza, he gives himself 12 ki, an additional 100% attack. Wow. Very, very solid indeed. By the way, that attack is calculated separately, so he goes up to 262%. And then when he's facing that Frieza for the first time, he's actually at 403% attack, which is ridiculous. So I've done tests with this guy at the Rainbow Star level. You can check those videos out on my channel, or video out on my channel. I got to almost 13 million attacks with this guy. He is bonkers. He is very, very strong. So my main dispute with this card is he has one spectacular linking partner who's not that usable. And that's LR Intelligence Team Bardock, right? So if we go to Team Bardock, this man, he shares almost pretty much every single link they share together. But you can't run this man in the most difficult content and expect to get away with it every single time. I actually took on the brand new collection of epic battles, and I was able to defeat Frieza with him on the team. But I'm gonna keep it a buck. I got lucky in not taking damage. And honestly, the Physical Bardock was able to clear out so much stuff because he's fighting a Frieza. He's able to crit constantly and do all that insane numbers. But I can't imagine doing it consistently. So he has linking partners that he's going to share 3-4 links. You know, you're looking at like the tech Vegeta that turns into the Majin Vegeta, or like the Super Vegeta, right? Like Strength Broly, he's going to share some links with and things of that nature. But he doesn't have anybody that's going to be like 5, 6 that aren't on Team Bardock, right? They're all on Team Bardock, and that's a little unfortunate. But with that said, he's still absolutely incredible, and all of these units are so damn strong. We are now in the Beerus tier, and we are going to start off with LR Goku Frieza, the Extremes, the Awakened, obviously the best Representative Universe 7 leader in the game. 12 ki raises defense for 1 turn, lowers attack. 18 ki does the same thing, but lowers attack and defense. Now, all this character was missing was defense after he attacked. He also would have really liked defense before he attacked. He still doesn't have it, which is really unfortunate, because if he gets hit before he's able to attack, the dude's dead. Like, just straight up, he is 100% dead. But typically that would make me want to put him in the Supreme Kai tier, not in the Beerus tier. But the fact that his link set is oh so perfect with Tournament of Power characters, and his offense is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. 77% attack and defense when attacking. An additional 77% attack and defense when doing a ultra super attack. And if the enemy is in any kind of status effect, attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed, an additional 77% attack, and gives himself 1 ki every single turn, caps at 7. By the way, that attack is insane. I thought it was going to calculate it separately, but it doesn't. But this dude does 10, 11 million attack stats just normally. Offense is his game, and he does it, and he plays it extremely well. So that is definitely the reason why he's there. Now, the next unit, the exact opposite. Agl Gohan. Defense is what this man does well, and he does it better than almost any other unit in the game on long events. So 12 ki and 18 ki, both stacking defense, gives himself 100% attack and defense to start off with, gains 10% attack and defense every turn, and 1 ki every turn. That caps at 5 ki and 70% attack and defense. So what ends up happening with this guy is, after just turn 3, turn 5, 200,000-300,000 defense plus, he can get to 1 million defense. Like, that's not an issue. And mine's is rainbowed and level 10 links, and he's doing 4 to 5 million attack stats, which is not a small number. So his offense is workable. It's solid. It's going to put a dent in the enemy, and he's going to take no damage on return. His active skill is not really worth talking about because it's still insanely difficult to pull off. You have to have, you're not going to have an Android 16 on the team. Like, that's just not going to happen. There are no good Android 16s in the game. You may decide to put an Android unit on his team. You have to still wait 5 turns, and you have to drop below 58% HP, and then at that point you can transform into Super Saiyan 2. Now, if you're bringing an Androids team, that means you're probably bringing a 17 on a Siblings Bond team, or you're just doing this weird hybrid like Android Cell Saga team, and you're bringing like cells and stuff and Saiyans and just kind of like a weird mix or whatever. But if you're able to turn him into Super Saiyan 2, then he's one of the best nuking units in the game at that point because he gains so much attack. He also gains some decent amount of defense on orbs. He's also greatly raising attack and defense on the 18 key and greatly raising defense on the 12. He's changing orbs if he's facing one enemy. He's doing additional super attacks if he's facing multiple enemies. If he's got Super Saiyan Goku on the same turn, then he's doing even more damage. It's just absolutely unbelievable. But like I said to you guys earlier, I think I've seen him transform twice in the almost 2 years that I've had this unit. So yeah, but still absolutely fantastic. I love to run him to this day. Now the next two I'm going to put together because I do think that they are of equal strength. The 5-year anniversary Gogeta and Vegeta. They pretty much do the same exact thing, right? They both are going to raise attack on their 12 and 18 key. They're both going to give themselves 70% attack and defense. They're going to give themselves 3 key whenever they attack, and they're going to launch an additional normal attack that's got a 30% chance of becoming a super. And then last but not least, if they're the third, character in the turn, if they're in the third slot, then they have a 50% chance to dodge. Now, this particular form, a lot of people meme and say like, oh, look, they have 100k defense, like they're so bad, blah, 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 blah. And it's true, right? For the first 3 turns, they're not going to get much done. They can do okay damage, but nothing serious. It's really when they show up on the 4th turn and when they transform. And that's when their bright spots show, right? They're some of the most offensive monsters in the game because their 12 key raises attack and defense on the 12 key, raises defense on the 18 key. Same thing here, but it's what they do in their passive that's really important. So going from 70% to 77% is not that big of a deal, okay? That's not really that great, but they guarantee launch an additional attack, okay? When they attack, they give themselves 5 key, which is crazy. They give themselves 1 key, caps at 5, and 7% attack and defense, caps at 77 every time they attack as the first or second attacker in a turn. And keep in mind that calculates separately, so they end up getting to 213% attack and defense after 11 attacks, which is at most 5 turns or something like that, which is great. And you can get there much quicker than that. So after just a few turns, so probably by like turn 7, turn 8, you're going to already be capped, which is ridiculous. And then same thing in the 3rd slot, 50% chance to dodge, but now you're guaranteed launching a super attack with this Gogeta. Now what he does that's unique is his attacks are effective against all types if he's the first or second attacker, whereas the Vegeta is not effective against all types, but does guarantee launch an additional super attack as the first or second attacker on the turn. So these guys, since they're launching, it's kind of like the Go Bros. Because they're launching so many attacks, and particularly if they're doing 12 keys, right? If they're doing 12 keys and they're raising attack and defense, or even 18 key, they get a nice defensive boost, they're doing Mega Colossal. It's a good number. 12 key is almost as high as the 18 key because they're raising their attack. Even though it's just Colossal, they're raising their attack on that guaranteed additional super attack, and this guy's just bypassing any form of defense. And then obviously their links are god tier, and they have the active skill, which is not particularly hard to do. It's a finishing move, right? You're facing one enemy, their HP is less than 50%, then you're just going to greatly raise your attack and finish them off in some of the coolest more fatality screens that you've ever seen. So still damn good units. People try to, people like to dog on them now because like they're bad on early difficult events like God of Destruction event and certain Extreme Super Battle Roads. But On longer events, they're still kings of offense, to this day. Next up, Strength, Ultra Instinct, Sign, Goku. This guy does a lot right. Let's just get it out of the way right now. 70% to dodge for 7 turns is insane. But what's even better is, unlike the physical Kale, Easy A, who gains, 60% damage reduction for, I think it's 6 turns or something like that, and then loses it unless if you gain a certain amount of physical orbs. It's like 6 physical orbs, which is ridiculous because they're not an orb changer. This dude's 70% dodge turns to 50% dodge at the 8th turn. It's like, okay, that's not bad. I still got 50% chance to dodge. That's insane. Ridiculous, right? Starts with 77% attack and defense, which is not a lot to start off with. I do agree. But just like the 5-year units, gains 1 key every time they attack, 11% attack and defense every time they attack as well. Gains 1 key and 11% attack and defense every time they dodge an attack. And keep in mind, since they're at 70% dodge for the first 7 turns, they're going to be dodging quite a bit. So that's going to cap at 7 key and an additional 77% attack and defense, which calculated ends up being 213% attack and defense after 7 attacks have been evaded, which is not going to be difficult for them. Some people will discredit them on 2 things, and I understand these arguments, right? Number 1 is they are going to be weak early on in terms of offense and defense, but in my opinion, because they're going to be dodging so much, they build up their offense very, very quickly, so then they're going to be doing their 5, 6, 7 million attack stats. Number 2, their super attack ability is situational, okay? Disabling enemy's guard is good, don't get me wrong. But if you don't have units that are type disadvantage and they would have hit that guard, then it doesn't really work. So if you're facing against an intelligence unit and you don't have anybody tech on that rotation, it doesn't really do anything, which is a little bit unfortunate. I do like that it does benefit the turn, though, so that is very nice. Obviously, their link skill is absolutely ridiculous. Still a top tier unit for sure. Just like this next man, the Mad Lad, the Brock Lesnar of Dokkan Battle. Jiren, full power, right? 12 key, greatly lowers defense. 18 key, Mega Colossal, massively lowers defense and has a 30% chance to stun, which a lot of people forget about. This man's rocking 200% attack and defense. He gives himself 1 key every time he gets hit. That caps at 5. And if the enemy is in attack down or defense down status, which by the way he does both, his attacks are effective against all types. That's pretty good. And oh, by the way, if the target is stunned, remember he's got a 30% chance of doing that, he guaranteed crits, which is ridiculous. And if that wasn't crazy enough, his active skill is bananas. Now, the condition sucks because he has to get hit 5 times, which I'm not a fan of, but when he's able to activate it, he gives himself 30% attack and defense. He lowers the enemy's attack and defense by 30% and guarantees stuns everybody. So, boom, there's your guaranteed crit. Still an absolute mad lad Chad. The Jiren is a wrecking ball for damn sure. This tier is not done yet though. Beerus tier is going to keep going. Next up, Super Saiyan 2 Tech Gohan. Raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Greatly lowers defense on the 12 key. Raises defense. Massively lowers defense on the 18 key, which is big because massively lowers is when you start noticing the defense on the enemy getting a little low. Anyway, 58% attack and defense. That is misleading. All right, 58% attack and defense. You go, oh, that's bad, right? That's bad. Check out what else he does. Gives himself an additional 1 key per orb obtained, and gives himself an additional 7% attack and defense per orb contained. So not only does he gain 2 key for every orb, not tech orbs give him 3, he gains 7% attack and defense for every single orb he grabs. And then he gives himself an additional 58% attack when doing an ultra super attack, and then he's got a 30% chance to perform an additional super attack. So what is really, really interesting about this guy is unlike some of the other units, when he grabs those orbs, his defense raises. So unlike certain units that won't gain that defense until they actually super attack, it's coded that way in the game where they grab the attack and defense off of the orbs. Let's just say their defense is at 150k. They grabbed another 100,000 from the orbs. That 100,000 won't kick in until they super attack, and then their defense will go from 150,000 to 250,000. So then if the enemy hits them after they super attack, then they'll be fine. But if they get hit beforehand, they're not. Whereas this guy's a bit different. When he grabs the orbs, his defense immediately raises, which is really important. Last but not least, he's one of the only units in the game. There's, I think, some more, but he's one of the only units in the game where his active skill works in tandem with the second half of his passive, or the last part of his passive, I should say. So if you have a Movie Heroes Goku on your team, okay? Movie Heroes Goku on your team. Doesn't have to be in the turn, but on your team. Let's go over to Movie Heroes Goku. Let's see who's Movie Heroes Goku, right? Movie Hero Goku, you got this free-to-play Goku here. Yep. You got the Super Saiyan Goku here. You have the Goku Gogeta, who's going to come out very, very soon. You have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who hopefully will get an easy A sometime soon. You got the Goku Piccolo here, right? Goku Vegeta / Gogeta. You also have units like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I talked about him previously. You can also take a look at this Tech Goku here, who's the Orb Changer. Obviously, when the Extreme Z Awakening comes out for this Dokkan Fest, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, this God Goku against Realm of Gods is very, very solid indeed. I don't think this guy's gotten his Easy A, has he? No, he hasn't. That sucks. Can't wait until that happens, actually. And then for strength, any good Gokus? Not really, not really, not really. And then this physical Goku is actually pretty solid. This Super Saiyan Goku is not too shabby. And that's about it, right? So you have a decent amount of Movie Heroes Goku. But with that said, if you have any of those characters on this team and you drop below 58% HP and 5 turns have passed, well, then this active skill will give you 12 ki and 59% attack, and this final part of his passive will give himself an additional, oh, I'm sorry, it's 58% HP. That's 5'9" is Goku, 5'8" is Gohan. He'll give himself an additional 59% attack here and guaranteed crit. Wow. So with that passive, I've seen him, with this passive and active skill combined, I've seen this dude do 20 million attack sets. Just utterly ridiculous. Tapion and Minosha. Why do people forget they exist? They're so good. 12 ki, lowers attack and defense. 18 ki, greatly raises attack. Mega Colossal, massively lowers defense. But check out what they do. They're a double support. Storied figures. Okay, if we take a look at the category. No, it's not the best category in the world. Okay? In fact, it kind of sucks. I 100% agree with you. But Siblings Bond is actually pretty fire. Siblings Bond has some top tier units on it that you can bring alongside of the Tapion and Minosha. And guess what? Where's the boy? Here he is. Wow, I couldn't see him for a second. This dude, who's his best friend because they link perfectly, is on both Storied Figures and Siblings Bond. So he's actually perfect for him because he gives him 4 ki and 40% attack and defense. So this dude is going to be doing ridiculous damage with great defense and reducing damage by 50%, which is absolutely insane. So what a perfect pair. But besides that, he's sitting at 130% attack and defense, right? He's got a 30% chance of launching an additional super attack. That's when he does ultras, right? Well, that's when he does 18 keys. But what's more importantly is every time he does a super attack, he gives himself 13% damage reduction. Every time he supers, 13% damage reduction. Remember, he's got a 30% chance of doing an extra super attack right here. So if he launches 2, that's not bad. That's not bad. 26% damage reduction. That's pretty good. That's not too sad. Not too bad. And then, of course, his active skill is spectacular. He has to have a Storied Figures ally. and a siblings bond ally on the team starting from the 4th turn of battle. Obviously, just have AGL Tapion for God's sakes. Removes all allies' negative effects. So that means if your super attack's been sealed, if you've been stunned, if you're locked in place, whatever the case is, gives all allies 3 key. All allies 3 key. Attack and defense 20% for 2 turns. 2. Amazing. Tapion, you are good. Now, let's finish with the second half of the tier list. Now, when I say second half, this is a lot less characters. So the Whis tier, okay? We are going on to the Whis tier, and we have 8 units left in total. So let's get into them. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker just so this video isn't 2 hours long. But let's go ahead and put the first unit on here. Again, the order does not matter, but it's going to be Goku and Vegeta, the Strength Vegito. 12 key, raises attack and defense. 18 key, same thing for that 1 turn. They just do a lot, and that's why I love this character. 120% attack and defense, 30% damage reduction. Every orb, type orb they get, not rainbow. So anything but rainbow, they're gaining an additional key for. So AGL, Tech, Physical, and Int, they're gaining 2 key. Strength, they're gaining 3. They also have a 30% chance to launch an additional super attack. The thing that I love about this character is if you want to transform him, you can, but you don't have to because it is an active skill transformation. If you want to keep him in this form where he's got pretty solid defense with great offensive capabilities, then you can. There's nothing that's preventing you of doing that. Now, if you want to be a little risky and kind of finish the fight, then you can transform him. Of course, you have to wait 4 turns and you have to be below 77% HP. But at that point, you can turn into Super Vegito. Now, this guy's super useful. Keeps the same 12 and 18 key effect, but when you transform, you recover 50% HP. You go from 120 to 150% attack and defense. You still, you change the 30% chance to additional to 30% chance to crit. You counter all normal attacks with tremendous power. You're still gaining that extra key. And on top of that, for 10 turns, you give yourself an extra 5 key and you see all enemy super attacks, which is unbelievable for certain content. So in really difficult content, you can still activate him and use him, even though he's going to be 150% defense, which is still good, right? That's still 200,000 defense. But you can just put him in positions where he's not going to get supered. He's just going to get normal attacked and have him counter with ridiculous amount of power and just absolutely destroy. So definitely this man belongs in the Whis tier. Next up, another strength unit, Strength Turles, Destroyers of the Universe. 12 key, 30% chance to stun. 18 key, raises attack, so you're going to do more offense. Mega Colossal, and a 50% chance to stun. So already spectacular for things like Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, and any other content where the enemy can have status effects against them. Passive skill, 130% attack and defense. Great on LR stats. Here's where it gets good. Terrifying Conquerors, which is one of the best categories in the game, right? One of the best extreme class categories in the game. Just some top tier units in there. He's a support. 3 key, not 2, 3 key, 30% attack and defense. He also will give himself 6 key, and his attacks will be effective against all types, against enemies that are stunned. And oh, by the way, if his key hits 24, his attacks are effective against all types, and he has a 50% chance of launching an additional super attack. Now, what I love about this character is a lot of people were like originally saying about his active skill, because his active skill, you got to wait 8 turns, but you can use it twice. He gives himself 24 key, so effectively he's going to give himself that additional, 50% chance to additional and the effective against all types. But people are like, oh, he must be for long events. No, he's for short events too, because it's either 8 turns or you could be turn 1. And if you drop below 60% HP, he can then use the active skill. So boom, right away, absolute damage. What a man, what a Chad. Absolutely love this Turles card, fantastic. By the way, his defense is incredible too. He's great in pretty much all places. Next unit who's great in almost all places, LR Bootanks or Buhan. He does everything. So he's the partner to the Strength Vegito in that he has similar mechanics, right? 120% attack and defense, gives himself that same exact key mechanic, gives himself that 30% chance to additional super attack, just like the Strength Vegito. The difference is instead of the damage reduction, he actually gives himself 12% HP recovery at the start of turn. And he's a Majin, so he's going to have, Metamorphosis that gives himself? Metamorphosis gives himself an additional 5%, right? So if you have 3 units on the turn that have Metamorphosis, you're actually looking at 15 plus 12, so you're looking at 27% HP recovery, which is spectacular. His 12 key stacks attack. His 18 key stacks defense. What more can you want? You can transform after the 4th turn. And again, I say you can if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. And it's so easy to get his 18 key because he's gaining so much key there. If you transform, you turn into Ultimate Gohan. Now you're raising attack for the 1 turn on your 12 and 18 key. Your 12% HP recovery goes down to 10, but your 120% attack and defense goes to 150. You're launching a guaranteed additional attack that's got a 30% chance to become a super. You still got the same key mechanic, but what's really fun is for the first 5 turns, you're giving yourself 5 key, just like the Goku. His is 10, but this is 5. And for the next 5 turns, the enemy's super attack is sealed. So unlike popular opinion where people are like, oh, that's useless in Super Battle Road, I disagree. There's certain Super Battle Roads that will go 4 or 5 turns, maybe even 6 turns. And this is literally the finisher of it. It's just saying, no. I may be out of items, but you're not super attacking anymore. So boom, there you go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye to your super attacks. Now you can only normal attack me, and I'm going to kill you. So fantastic. Buhan, Bootanks, absolutely love that character. Let's move along. Next up, Strength Broly. Some people will say, why isn't he in the top tier? Well, I'll tell you why. The only reason I don't put him in the top tier is simple. He only has 50% defense until he attacks. So if he gets hit before he's able to attack, that 50% defense is not going to be worth much. He's going to get killed. But with that said, raises attack and defense for 1 turn on the 12 key and the 18 key. The difference, the 12 key, obviously everybody knows it's an AoE, so attacks everybody, and he's got the crazy condition in his passive. 50% attack and defense. Gives himself another 50% attack and defense, and launches an additional super attack, as long as he supers. So whether he's doing an 18 key or 12 key, he's going to launch an additional 12 key. So you're looking at double 50% attack and defense on top of his normal 50% attack and defense, which is spectacular. He also gives himself 5 key if he's facing pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans enemy, and his attacks are effective against all types and guaranteed to hit, cannot be dodged if he's facing a Goku's family enemy. His links are also pretty darn good, don't get me wrong, but man, this guy's offense is spectacular, and after he's able to do his 2 super attacks, his defense is legendary. Last but not least, on the Whis tier, we have Intelligence, Super Saiyan Blue, Evolved, Evolution, Royal Blue, Super Saiyan Blue 2, Vegeta. 12 key, colossal damage, 18 key, mega colossal damage, but he's got that very interesting thing of the crit. In case you guys don't understand what he does, his first super attack has a 50% chance to crit. Whether it does or not is not important, because any additional super attacks he does are 100% chance to crit, which is ridiculous. He gives himself 150% attack and defense, which is high because it's off of LR stats. He gives himself 10% damage reduction, which is not particularly great, but every time he gets hit in that turn, he'll gain another 10% damage reduction. So each hit on him in that turn is going to get less and less and less, and that resets back to 10 the next turn, which is fine. That caps at 30% additional, damage reduction. He gives himself 1 key every time he attacks, which is great. He's got a 30% chance of launching an additional super attack. So again, that is a guaranteed 100% chance to crit there. When he drops below 50% HP, this is essentially how his revival mechanic works. And it's going to go for the same for Goku, so I'm not going to re-explain it. But if you're going into the turn that he's on and you're below 50% HP, then his revival mechanic will be enabled. as long as he's been hit 7 times already. And you'll know that because the little heart on the bottom where your HP is will be on fire. That means he's been hit 7 times and you've gone into the turn with less than 50% HP. It doesn't matter if you gain more HP in that turn, as long as you went into it under 50% HP, then the revival mechanic will be enabled. And what that means is if anybody on your team dies in that turn, you will automatically come back with 70% HP, which is cool. He's also got a pretty unique active skill. It's actually a Mega Colossal to all enemies, so good damage there. You have to wait 4 turns. You have to be above 50% HP, which is good. But yeah, this guy's just spectacular. Absolutely love him. But because he's a little wonky, he doesn't have as many great linking partners. And because his damage reduction doesn't start higher, I would have loved if it started at 30% and went up from there. He's on the Whis tier. The last 2 units on the Whis tier, I'm actually going to put together because I do think that they're comparable in strength. And honestly, I haven't had enough time, it's only been a few days, to test them out. So we're going to put the Gohan Krillin and Vegeta Goku on the Whis tier because honestly, so far, they've impressed the hell out of me. And I didn't look at them that well before they came out. I was kind of like, oh, they look good. But they've shocked me. So Gohan Krillin raises attack and defense, 12 key and 18 key, which is great. Passive skill, 130% attack and defense, 30% chance to dodge. Always like that. They gain an additional key every orb they get. So 18 keys are going to be so easy because that 18 key is greatly raising attack and defense. I apologize. I misspoke when I said both of them do the same thing. The 18 key greatly raises attack and defense. So getting that 18 key is going to be super simple. It's going to be so fast. They give themselves an additional 50% when doing a super attack, which is incredible. They launch an additional attack when the key is 24, and that additional attack has a 50% chance to become a super, which is ridiculous. Now, if we take a look here, their additional 50% attack is calculated separately, so they actually are sitting at 245% attack when doing a super attack, which is spectacular. They have an active skill, can be activated on the 3rd turn, and they just give themselves 24 key. So that is very, very nice. Now, on top of that, they kind of have a transformation ability, which they have to perform for super attacks. And once they do that, they can throw on their Saiyan battle armor. Now, when they throw on their Saiyan battle armor, the 12 and 18 key super attack remains the same, but they get strong in their passive. 150% attack and defense instead of 130. Still have a 30% chance of dodge. Still gaining that extra key, right, for every type of orb they get. It doesn't matter if it's rainbow or strength or, it's all going to be 2 key, and then AGL orbs are going to be 3. They give themselves another key if it's a rainbow key. So now we're looking at 3 key for rainbow. They give themselves an additional 58% attack and another 30% chance of dodge when they're doing a super attack. And they launch an additional attack that's got a 70% chance to become a super attack when their key is 24. And, oh, by the way, their active skill resets. I don't know if that's a bug, but it does. The Goku Vegeta is equally as impressive. Raises attack and defense for the 1 turn on 12 and 18 key. 3 key, 150% attack and defense as long as their HP is above 30%. If their HP is above 30%, they're going to give themselves actually 5 key and 150% attack and defense. There's a reason for this, okay? So it sounds weird, but there's a reason. So above 30% HP, they're at 5 key, 150% attack and defense, which is great. Also, when they attack, they're giving themselves an additional 50% attack and defense. So they're always going to be in the 200 to 300 plus thousand defense when they're super attacking. So that is great. Now, when they drop below 30% HP, they lose all their defense. And there's a reason. Because they have an active skill condition. The active skill, or the revival skill, I'm sorry, the revival, which is an exchange. It's tied together. If they go into the turn and your HP is below 30%, you lose all your defense, right? Once you die or anybody else on the turn dies, you come back, you gain 70% HP, and you come back as Goku. So it's essentially Cell's condition that we talked about earlier in this video, but the difference is you just have to do the extra thing of dying on that turn, and they make it easy for you by, removing all of Vegeta's defense. So you're definitely going to die on that turn. And then you'll come back as Goku. At this point, same 12 key, but 18 key is greatly raising attack and defense. Passive is 3 key, 159% attack and defense. Gives himself another 59% attack and defense when doing a super attack. Gives himself 3 key and 30% damage reduction when facing extreme class enemies. And any Planet Namek Saga enemy, he's going to have a 50% chance of doing a crit hit, which is really good. So these two I really like. I still have to do more tests and see if they actually do belong on the Whis tier, if they should go on the Zeno tier, if they should go on the Beerus tier. But for now, we're going to leave them here. Last but not least, the final 3. Let's just put them up there. You guys already know. Ultra Instinct Goku, the Full Power Frieza, and the Super Saiyan Goku. So let's just fly through these 3 because I'm honestly tired of talking so damn much. UI Goku, still one of the best LRs in the game. He's got a 70% chance to dodge forever. He's sitting at 150% attack and defense, which is fantastic. Every time he dodges, he's going to gain 1 key. Which is absolutely incredible. And he also gains an additional 30% defense in the same turn if he dodges, which is great. He's got a 30% chance to do an additional super attack, which is also really good. He's got the same crit mechanic as Vegeta. I've already explained it. He's got a similar revival mechanic, except the difference is the HP restriction is still the same, but instead of attacking a bunch of times or getting hit, well, I forgot what the hell it was, he has to dodge, he has to get hit 3 times. Not dodging, he has to get hit 3 times. So he has to not dodge and get hit 3 times. And then, if you die in that turn, then he'll come back with 7% HP and all blah, 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 blah. His active skill is a little bit different. It's the same conditions, but he greatly raises his attack and he does ultimate damage. So obviously this dude is top tier. Next up, Agl Frieza, another top tier unit, stacks attack on the 12 key, stacks defense on the 18 key, very similar to the LR Boo tanks. Gives himself 2 key and 200% attack and defense for the first 6 turns, which is absolutely ridiculous. Does it give him any more key? No, it doesn't. He gives himself 1 key and 50% attack. By the way, that key stacks up to 3 if he's facing a superclass enemy. He will launch a guaranteed additional super attack if he gets hit. If he's the second or third attacker, he will do a 30% chance to launch an additional super attack, which is good. After these 6 turns and he loses the 100% attack and defense bonus, he's going to be given 50% attack, which is great. If he's facing Goku, guaranteed crits. His active skill is pretty easy to do. The superclass enemy has to be below 30% HP. He can finish them off by greatly raising his attack and doing ultimate damage. Goku's the same thing, except opposite, right? He's getting stacking 12 key defense. He's stacking 18 attack, 2 key, 159% attack and defense. Same thing. If he gets hit, he does a guaranteed additional super attack. Turn 2 and 3 gives himself another 59% attack and 30% chance of doing an additional super attack. If he's facing extreme enemies, 1 key up to 3, 59% attack, and guaranteed crits on Frieza. Same deal, except it's against extreme class allies for the active skill. Greatly raises attack temporarily and ultimate damage. Guys, I've been talking for way too long. There is the tier list. They're all incredible units. I can't wait to keep using them. If you have any thoughts, concerns, or outbursts that you want to do in the comments down below, go for it. If they are troll comments or just stupid, I'm just going to ban you. I can care less. If you want to see more content like this, you can follow the channel. Go ahead and click that blue join button. Become a boomer champion like Joe V, or gently rub that sub button, gingerly ring that bell button, lovingly kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodik. See y'all in the next video.